We're over here at Jacob Lewis Park, Kansas City, Missouri. Get some air under it, yeah. You know, it's a beautiful day after work. We're out here enjoying the sunshine. We might not catch most of it this weekend, so we were just trying to get a little bit of sunshine while it was out here.
It's springtime, finally, for a day. I had a friend call me up who told me she wanted to do laps like a dog. So I came out here to do laps like a dog.
You get all the seasons in 1 week, that's for sure. Maybe even in 1 day. I love cats a lot, so it's a cat coloring book. Shameless. I hope that it's going to be a long spring though, you know, you never know. Hopefully we have a nice intermittent period between the snow and then the blazing heat of summer.
Escaping the harsh world of work. Well, I hear it's not going to be too good. I try not to obsess about it though, because what can you do about it? Nothing, as Walter Cronkite would have said. And that's the way it is.
Let's do right here. I'm gonna test the light real quick. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love it. We are out getting our engagement photos, and we had planned to come out Sunday, but it was absolutely awful weather planned in the forecast. Let's go over here by this tree. We decided on these locations because it's not your typical Kansas City location for photography, so perfect. We wanted to try something different.
Got to enjoy the beautiful weather, you know, didn't have to battle the elements this weekend, so it all worked out.
Mark, get set, go. Yeah!
Man, sometimes up until May, you never really know in Kansas City, so I'm just taking it. If I get a beautiful day, I'm gonna be outside.
Enjoy it before the bad stuff comes in town.
We're having a lemonade stand, and we're raising money for a fighter. Lemonade this way, give it school. We're holding up signs, and we're all matching, and it kind of attracts like the customers. It all goes to charity. We're raising money for a firefighter who passed away in the California fire. Brian Hughes was engaged to get married, and he had a baby on the way. Lemonade! We thought it'd be nice to like raise some money for their family.
Gaby, do you want to get ice?
Ice, ice, ice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think it makes it really special because he risked his life for other people's lives, and then he lost his life. What we're doing is to try and help him and his family because of everything that he's done for so many other people. Aw, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
It's so sweet. The children are so innocent, and for them to be that empathetic for somebody else and for his child that's on the way. If you have your choice, you'd rather have your dad around. I had cancer 5 years ago. I was in the hospital for 100 days, and I didn't think I was going to make it, and I thought a lot about what it'd be like for the children to grow up without a dad.
Makes you feel happy that you're helping other people instead of just using that money for yourself.
Thank you.
I'm proud of all of us, and I am glad that we got the opportunity to do it, and it's pretty great.
Just thankful I'm here to be part of it and see the children growing up. So I hope I'm here to see them grow all the way up.
I didn't sleep pretty good last night just because I was excited about it.
In the basement of United Auto Workers Local 249 are piles on piles of boxes that could be mistaken for junk.
I couldn't imagine they were throwing all this stuff away.
But Dave Grant doesn't see it that way.
This stuff has never been worn, ever.
When Grant recently learned that a local auction company was planning to throw away $250,000 worth of clothes they couldn't sell,
What is this?
he asked if the UAW could have them.
When they opened the trailer doors and all the stuff started falling out toward me, I was just baffled.
These, though, aren't just any kind of clothes.
It's till you start putting all the emblems on there, does it look military?
They were originally made for cadets at the now-closed Wentworth Military Academy in Lexington, Missouri.
Bundles of khaki shirts, military gloves, just regular t-shirts. I couldn't fit into that these days, but...
Grant knew exactly who would appreciate the gear.
And then back here, I've got these trench coats. This is awesome.
Homeless veterans.
Veterans in this country, unfortunately, a lot of times don't feel like when they come back from combat situations that they're really wanted or that they're even thought of.
You see, he served in the military for 20 years. and knows firsthand how hard it can be for veterans to reintegrate into civilian society.
But I didn't let everybody know that I was struggling not only mentally, but financially, and it was tough to get by.
He's hoping this small gesture will make veterans who aren't as fortunate,
To me, it looks like Christmas.
feel better about themselves.
I'm playing Santa Claus basically tomorrow without the beard, but I have the belly. So
And for him,
anything I can do to make a veteran feel good, I'm going to do it.
Hi, how can I help you today?
Trucker Robert Thurlow walked into the Ottawa, Kansas truck stop at 3 o'clock this morning
Hi, welcome to Love's.
to a much more startling greeting.
As soon as you open the door, it's like a shock. You know, all of a sudden, here's this person with nothing but blood everywhere.
A California truck driver had a PICC line attached to a vein in his arm from a medical procedure. It came loose as he was driving on I-35, miles from nowhere.
I can't imagine driving one of these literally while holding another arm so that I'm not bleeding to death and going 30 minutes to do it.
As he ran into the Loves, leaving behind a trail of blood, he left no doubt he was in bad shape.
It happened so quickly that there was literally enough time for him to voice the words, "I'm bleeding to death."
The employee behind the counter had studied to be a medical assistant, and the truck driver who had just awakened from his slumber to use the bathroom was a former Boy Scout.
Those types of things stick with you, even when you become an adult, even though I got those merit badges when I was an early teen.
Robert grabbed a tarp strap from the shelf, the same type he has on his truck. The employee, Nicole, grabbed a shirt.
When you're in that moment, I think a lot of it does come down to having the right caring personality and the right person to jump in and help.
Robert applied the tourniquet while Nicole pulled out a first aid kit complete with gloves and called 911.
And it's a risk, sure, but I was more concerned that, to be honest, he was going to die.
As first responders arrived and removed the tourniquet in place of one of their own, the blood splattered more than 10 feet in the air. Employees would spend the rest of the morning cleaning up.
Just jumping in as if they are their own family member, it really is a proud moment to me.
That's the lifesaver, all of $3 worth of rubber.
While Robert was back on the road, reflecting on a post from Ottawa police, simply labeled Hero Alert.
I would hope, in all honesty, that anyone would do it for me.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. So we are welcoming all of our guests into our mosque, whoever wants to show solidarity with us. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot for us. I was shocked. I was shocked that anything like this can happen during our prayers. It's incredibly, it's been just so heartbreaking. So we're gonna take off our shoes.
So we were at Temple, at the New Reformed Temple in Kansas City, and one of the members mentioned that there was this vigil going on and an interfaith community meeting for this because of what happened in New Zealand. Myself and some friends, we drove the 30 minutes down here to come support our community. I think this is happening too frequently for a lot of places and a lot of different faiths, and it's not okay.
Please know that there are so many people who love and care about you.
And the idea of today's gathering was to show solidarity, that if some injustice or wrong thing happens any part of the world, we are all together. The forces of goodness, the forces of love are all together, irrespective of religion, caste, creed. That is immaterial. As a humanity, we are together. We have to work together, and that is important. That is the message we want to convey.
Car parts and broken tree limbs are littered all along this hill where that driver came barreling over after investigators say he lost control.
It's just kind of dangerous with no guardrails with such a steep embankment right here, you know.
Neighbors upset to learn that a 4-year-old girl was killed this afternoon in a crash that ended in their backyards.
Oh my God.
Akhtar Duat ran out of her apartment at Colonial Square when she heard it.
I'm feeling terrible because I look at the girl, I saw her with my own eyes, and it hurts. Especially being a mother and see the daughter is dying.
Investigators say shortly after 1, the driver of a red SUV was heading east on Parvin Road when he sideswiped the driver of another car heading in the opposite direction.
That second driver was Jerry Hernandez.
When I seen him, he was coming toward us, getting ready to hit his head on, and I swerved to the shoulder, and then he finally swerved. And then I looked in the mirror, and he was just going like that.
The 53-year-old driver with the 4-year-old inside lost control, hitting several trees before his SUV landed on its roof at the bottom of a hill.
But it just seemed like, I don't know if he was having a heart attack or gas pedal was stuck, he just wouldn't let off the gas.
Witnesses performed CPR on the girl until emergency crews arrived, but it was too late.
Neighbors came out and they were around the little girls. It was so amazing not to ignore. And everybody was around him and everybody was asking for something to make her breathing.
It took firefighters a while to get the driver out, who apparently was trapped.
Oh, he was out. He was all, that car was all around him.
While Hernandez is thankful his life was spared, his thoughts are with the family of the little girl.
I was just like wondering if he would have hit me, if it would have been not as worse, you know, at least on the side of me or something.
Again, the driver of that SUV in serious condition tonight. Investigators say the 4-year-old was partially ejected from the vehicle, but have not said whether or not she was in a car seat. Zach Summers, Fox 4 News.
It's a real loss when you can't do something.
At 57 years old, Craig Bruner says many of his favorite memories took place on his bike.
I just miss being on the motorcycle, miss riding, miss our trips. So.
Miss that open air.
Together with his wife, he says it's one of his favorite places to be. But 2 years ago, he was forced to step away after doctors diagnosed Bruner with an aggressive cancer.
And his back and his ribs and his butt and his thighs and upper right arm right now that we know of.
On Thursday evening,
1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Jubilation.
Bruner buckled in.
Unbelievable that it's really coming true that I get to go for a ride. Holy moly, look at all the bikes. Wow.
And joined his wife back in the saddle, holding hands and appreciating every mile alongside dozens of other Harley-Davidson riders and Crossroads Hospice, which helped make this particular wish come true. On the other side, Craig and Diane were met with an even larger brotherhood of riders, ending the night surrounded with music, loved ones, and joy.
Thank you very much. This is awesome.
Nicole D'Antonio.
I loved it. Thank you, everybody that was involved.
Fox 4 News.
Just past the Bates City exit heading west on Interstate 70.
This used to be farmland.
Is a plane that's likely caught your eye before.
And that happens to be one of the first Learjets.
But take a closer look beyond the restricted area signs, and you'll notice something even more unusual.
There's so many aircraft here.
A graveyard of old airplanes.
And these would have been here for a long time.
But this isn't necessarily where planes come to die.
We purchased the aircraft to dismantle them for parts.
81-year-old Terry White founded White Industries Aircraft in 1956 after falling in love with an airplane he bought that needed repairing.
Been in it a long time.
His salvage yard now sits on 170 acres, equipped with a full runway, and houses more than 2,000 airplanes, some dating as far back as the 1940s.
We get inquiries from throughout the world. In fact, we ship around the world.
Most of the planes are general aviation aircraft, single-engine pistons, or corporate business jets.
There's nothing that is airline or large passenger configuration airplanes here.
White and his crew sell parts from the planes to service repair facilities at airports, but unlike auto salvage yards, they have to keep meticulous records about the part's history.
You got to be authorized to install the part on a plane. And record keeping is very, very important in this business.
And those parts don't always come cheaply.
Your prices typically can be from $25 to no more than typically $150,000 to $175,000.
White says after nearly 60 years in the business, he thinks it's about time he retires.
With as many children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, there's more important things in life to me than this business.
But he's confident this niche industry will continue to soar.
Since when I started into it, it's quadrupled in size.